Hi, good morning. You are watching Diksha Medical Ramana channel. Type Diksha Medical Ramana in YouTube search bar. Subscribe my channel and click bell icon for new updates. Hi, hello, good morning. Let me introduce myself to you. I am Ramana. You are watching Diksha Medical channel. Today we are going to talk about the nutrition. Basically, it is a 10th class the chapter nutrition, the continuity part. Today we are going to continue. Basically, human digestion, there are 5 steps are involved in the process of nutrition in human beings. The first step is ingestion. Ingestion is nothing but the process of intake of food into the body or mouth. Second step is conversion of large, complex, insoluble substances changes into simple, soluble substances are called digestion. The third step is called absorption. Absorption is nothing but what is the food is digested, the digested food is entered into the bloodstream is called absorption. And fourth step, the final utilization of food is called assimilation. Assimilation is the process takes place in the within the cell. What is the food you are taking? That food digested, the digested food will enter into the bloodstream, and through the blood it reaches to the various body parts or cells. Then what is the food you have eaten? That food will be oxidized and liberate energy. That process we can call as a assimilation. Assimilation is nothing but the process of final utilization of food is called assimilation. And last step, what is the food is not digested? The undigested food is eliminated from the body is called egestion or defecation. Right, let us see. Ingestion completed. Ingestion is a process of intake of food material. Basically, in the holozoic nutrition, amoeba ingests the food material through a finger-like process is called pseudopodia. In paramecium, the process of ingestion is done by a small hair-like structures which are present in the entire body, which helps to ingest the food. We call as a cilia, and cytostome also helps to ingestion of food in the paramecium. When you come to the human being, the ingested organ is mouth, right? Now today, what is the process of digestion takes place in the human beings, right? Now we are going to explain about what is the process of digestion takes place in the human beings, right? So basically, human beings are holozoic nutrition. That means we are taking the solid food or liquid food, whatever the food it is, engulfed into the mouth cavity, right? So we are the holozoic nutrition. There are different type of nutrients we are taking. That means we are taking the carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals and fibers, and finally water, right? So we are taking as a diet carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals, fibers and water. Here carbohydrates, proteins, fats are the large substances. These large substances cannot go into the blood without digestion, so that they need digestion, right? So carbohydrates, proteins, fats need the digestion. No digestion of vitamins, no digestion of minerals, no digestion of water, and fibers are a cellulose substance. It is also does not digest in our body because there is no cellular digest enzymes in our body, so that fibers cannot be digested. But fibers are useful for the bowel movement of food material. That means movement the food from the place to place with help of the force of fibers. These fibers are helps to prevent the constipation. So these four are no need to digest, right? Vitamins, minerals, water will not involved in the digestion, but fibers, these are maybe proteins or carbohydrates, but it does not digest in our body. So these are, that means what, that's the vitamins, minerals and water directly absorbed into the body through the bloodstream. Now I'm going to talk about digestion of carbohydrates, proteins and fats. Let us see one by one. First of all, we have to take the carbohydrates. Generally, carbohydrates are rice, wheat, and bananas, potato. Mostly every day we are using a staple food is the rice. Rice is mostly, it is a carbohydrate, right? These carbohydrates should be digested in different parts of the body. Our digestive system, how different parts are present, each part is responsible for the particular function, right? So where the carbohydrate digestion takes place, generally carbohydrate digestion takes place in, very important, as a 10th class standard, where the carbohydrate digestion takes place. The carbohydrate digestion takes place in, one is in mouth cavity, one is in duodenum, that is nothing but small intestine, right? So these two places only carbohydrate digestion takes place, right? We will see what is the reason behind this, why the carbohydrates are not digested in the stomach. While coming to the stomach, we have to talk, right? So in the mouth cavity, how the food is digested? In the mouth cavity, what is the carbohydrates are present? The carbohydrates are present in the food, right? These are mechanically or physically break down with help of the teeth and jaws. At the same time, salivary glands are involved to digest the carbohydrates in the mouth cavity. So salivary glands secrete saliva. Saliva contain salivary amylase. The salivary amylase, also known as ptyalin, right? Salivary amylase or ptyalin, which is secreted from the salivary glands, which act on the carbohydrates converted into maltose sugars, right? Then the food is reaches to the stomach. In the stomach, there is no digestion of carbohydrates. The two important regions, one is the concentration of gastric juice is not permit to digest the carbohydrates, and second one is there is no carbohydrate digestive enzymes. There are two reasons why the carbohydrates are not digested in the stomach. One is due to presence of HCl. This HCl shows the near about 2.0 pH of the hydrochloric acid, that is nothing but 2 pH of the gastric juice, right? In this pH, carbohydrate digestion will not take place. That is the first reason. Second reason is there is no carbohydrate digestive enzymes. That's why there is no digestion takes place in the, where it is in the stomach. Next we are going to talk about the digestion in duodenum, right? In the duodenum, only there is a 30% of carbohydrates will be digested into maltose sugars, and rest of the carbohydrates, right, changes into maltose with help of the pancreatic amylase. The amylase is an enzyme which is secreted from the pancreas, which convert the rest of the carbohydrates into maltose sugar. So almost all carbohydrates are changes into the maltose sugars. Now this maltose, and sometimes we take as a lactose, sometimes we take as a sucrose. These all are disaccharides, right? So maltose, lactose, sucrose, these three are converted into glucose. In the presence of maltase, in the presence of lactase, in the presence of sucrase, right? As our textbook they have given related to sucrose, sucrase and glucose. This is our textbook equations, but as a product of carbohydrate digestion, the maltose is a disaccharide, maltase is enzyme, lactose is a disaccharide, lactase is enzyme, sucrose is a disaccharide, sucrase is enzyme, right? So maltose, lactose and sucrose. Sucrose is the cane sugar, lactose is a milk sugar, and maltose is a normal sugar, it is rice sugar, right? These three are digested into glucose with help of these three enzymes. These three enzymes are comes from intestinal juice, right? Intestinal juice helps to convert the maltose, lactose, sucrose into glucose. Let us recall once again. Carbohydrates are the large complex food material. These carbohydrates are converted into the glucose with help of the different biochemical enzymes. Carbohydrate digestion takes place in the mouth cavity as well as small intestine. In the mouth cavity, there is a salivary amylase. In the small intestine, there is a amylase and maltase, lactase and sucrase. These enzymes are available in these places. That's why the carbohydrate digestion takes place in the mouth cavity as well as small intestine. Why carbohydrates not digest in the stomach? The reason is due to concentration of pH, and second one important thing is due to lack of enzymes which digest the carbohydrates. So carbo digestive enzymes are absent in the stomach. One is the reason. Second one is due to concentration of the HCl in the stomach. So carbohydrates will not be digested in the stomach. So once recall that carbohydrates are the complex food material which is turned into the maltose sugar with help of the salivary amylase or ptyalin. Next, the rest of the carbohydrates are converted into the maltose with help of the pancreatic amylase, and maltose and lactose, sucrose. These all products are as a disaccharides, right? These disaccharides are converted into the monosaccharides with help of maltase, lactase and sucrase. As per our textbook, there is a sucrose digested by sucrase into the glucose. So the end products of carbohydrate is the glucose, right? So let us see the digestion of proteins. Let me continue about the second type of foods, that is called proteins. Let us see what is the sources of proteins. Generally, proteins are obtained from the different resources like pulses, beans, chicken, mutton. These all the proteins are available, right? So after taking the protein food, how the proteins are get digested in our body? Basically, proteins are bound by a type of linkages. These peptidases are helps to digest the peptide bonds, so that proteins are complex substances which should be digested into the simple form of proteins are called amino acids. So a group of amino acids bounded by the peptide bonds. These peptide bonds are broken by peptidases. These peptidases are present in different parts of the juices, but basically protein digestion takes place or initiated by the gastric juice, right? Let me discuss about the protein digestion. Basically, proteins are available in the pulses, meat, egg, etc. Chicken and beans. These are the mostly available, right? So after taking the proteinous diet, where they get digested? The digested parts are, one is stomach, second one is small intestine, that is duodenum, right? So why stomach and small intestine is responsible for digestion of proteins? In the mouth cavity, basically there is no protein digestive enzyme, so that stomach, it is favorable for digestion of proteins because of presence of HCl and protein digestive enzyme that is called pepsin, right? At the same time, in small intestine, why it is a favor for protein digestion? Due to presence of the enzymes which comes from the pancreas, that is nothing but trypsin, and the enzymes which are secreted from the intestinal glands, that is called peptidases. So these enzymes are useful for digestion of complex substances or changes into the simple form. Basically, here we are talking about the HCl. Generally, what is the role of HCl in our stomach? Generally, HCl is not directly involved in the digestion of food material, but HCl first of all create the acidic medium in the stomach. It is a very important favor for the protein digestion. At the same time, it helps to activate the protein digestive enzymes, that is pepsinogen into pepsin. Basically, enzymes will not be secreted directly in the active form. It should be secreted in the form of a inactive form. Why enzymes are secreted in the inactive form? If it is an active form, what happens? No, the digestive enzymes act on the own cells. That's why they have to release in the inactive form. Later they have to activate, right? So here HCl is a media, helps to activate the pepsinogen into pepsin. Now that is the second function. And third important function of HCl is it kills bacteria. It kills bacteria which is present in the food. What is the food you are taking? That we don't know what food it is. Maybe that food may contain some of the bacteria or some pathogens. It will be killed by the HCl. So HCl helps to create the acidic medium near about 2.0 pH, and generally enzymes are released in the inactive form. It is activated into pepsin with help of the HCl, and it kills the bacteria. These three functions are done by the HCl, right? Now what type of digestion takes place in the stomach? Basically these proteins converted into peptones. Okay, now proteins are converted into peptones by pepsin. The enzyme pepsin helps to convert the proteins into peptones. Okay, now here half of the proteins will be digested. Then the food is reaches to the small intestine, that is the duodenum. In duodenum, some proteins and some peptones, small intestine, proteins, peptones get digested into peptides. Peptides with help of the trypsin. Trypsin is an enzyme which is secreted from the pancreatic juice. Pepsin is enzyme which is secreted from the gastric juice, that is a stomach, right? You can remember easily. Now what are the peptides are there? These peptides get digested into amino acids with help of peptidases, which are present in the intestinal juice or succus centricus. So let me recall once again what is the proteins. Proteins are present in the pulses and meat and egg, like beans and all. And proteins are digested in the two places in the digestive system. One is the stomach and in the small intestine. There is no protein digestion in the buccal cavity because there is no proper enzymes, as well as there is no proper pH to digest the proteins. And stomach and small intestine is favor for digestion of proteins due to production of gastric juice which contain the HCl and pepsin. And small intestine also, which is a favor for the digestion of proteins because trypsin is received from the pancreas into duodenum. Duodenum is a part of small intestine, and peptidases also comes from the intestinal juice. Now we have to see what is the role of HCl in the stomach. HCl generally create the acidic medium near about 2.0, and these enzymes are not released directly in the form of active form, so it prevent the autocatalysis. So here are auto digestion, so that these enzymes are released in the inactive form, later it is activated. So inactive form of enzymes are activated by the HCl, and HCl helps to kill the bacteria which is present in the food. These three important functions are done by the HCl. Now how the digestion of proteins takes place? Proteins are digested into peptones with help of the pepsin, which is secreted from the stomach as a gastric juice, and rest of the proteins and peptones will be converted in the peptides with help of the trypsin. And now peptides is converted into amino acids with help of the peptidases, right? These all will be digest the complex proteins into the simple form, that is the amino acids. So here we have seen that protein digestion, right? Let us see the last final compounds, that is the organic substances, that is the fats. Generally fats are macronutrients which are responsible for the formation of membrane, plasma membrane, and produce some metabolic products in the cell. And fats are very essential for formation of cholesterol and all. So in our body, our sources of fats are mostly, it is present in the oils, ghees, and meat, egg. These all will be sources of the fats. Generally, how the fats are digested, where the digestion will be start. Okay, now fats are generally digested with help of the bile juice, very important, and pancreatic lipases, and intestinal lipases. Generally, this bile juice is secreted from the liver, right? Liver is present the either side of the duodenum as per your textbook. Liver and pancreas, if you see in the diagram, you can understand easily. Right, here pancreas is present, and here the largest gland which is present in our body, both are opens into duodenum through the common duct that is called hepatopancreatic duct. Now liver synthesizes the bile juice stored in the gallbladder, then it is opens into duodenum. Here important thing is the bile juice synthesized by the liver and stored in the gallbladder, which is released in the duodenum through the hepatopancreatic duct. This bile juice contain bile salts which are responsible for emulsification of fats. What is meant by emulsification? Emulsification is nothing but the process of breakdown of large fats into small fat globules, right, with help of bile salts, right? So this process is called emulsification. Now the emulsified fats are, what are the emulsified fats? What are the emulsified fats? Get digested into triglycerides with help of pancreatic lipases. Now these triglycerides converted into fatty acids and glycerol with help of intestinal lipase, right? So what is the fat we are taking as a diet? It should be emulsified with help of the bile salts which are secreted from the liver. Then large fats are get modified into the small fat globules are called emulsification. The emulsified fats are converted into triglycerides with help of the pancreatic lipase. Triglycerides are get converted into fatty acid and glycerol with help of the intestinal lipase. To summarize the digestion of food in the human beings is, or the process of digestion is, conversion of large complex insoluble substances changes into the simple soluble absorbable substances are called digestion. Simply we can say breakdown of complex food material into simple form. Let us take carbohydrates are changes into are broken down into glucose, proteins are broken down into amino acids, fats are get broken down into fatty acids and glycerol. Now we are taking a complex food, that means carbohydrates are there, proteins are there, fats are there. But why it is separately digested in our body? Basically these all foods cannot be digested in the particular place, right? So that some foods will be digested in the mouth cavity, some foods will maybe digested in the stomach, some foods may be digested in the small intestine. But here we are going to summarize carbohydrates are the food material which are digested with help of the ptyalin which is secreted from the salivary glands in the mouth cavity,
and pancreatic amylase which is secreted from the pancreas and released into the duodenum, and sucrase which is secreted for the intestinal juice which act on the sucrase and get converted into the glucose. So ptyalin, amylase, sucrase, these three are enzymes which digest the carbohydrates. In exam point of view, if they ask the question, what are the enzymes and act, that is the ptyalin, salivary amylase, and amylase, that's the pancreatic amylase, sucrase, this is a intestinal juice. These three are helps to digest the carbohydrates into glucose. Next, second one is the proteins. What are the enzymes are involved in the digestion of proteins? One is the pepsin, second one is the trypsin, third one is the peptidases. Pepsin is the enzyme which is secreted from the stomach through the gastric glands. Okay, now. Next, trypsin is enzyme which is secreted from the pancreas which released into the duodenum. Peptidases are the enzymes which is secreted from the intestinal juice. These three are act on the proteins and digested into amino acids. And fats are digested by the bile juice. Bile juice do not have any enzymes. Very, very important. There is no enzymes in the bile juice. Enzymeless juice in our body is the bile juice. But how bile juice is involved in the fat digestion? That is due to presence of bile salts. Due to presence of bile salts. These bile salts are essential for conversion of large fats into small fat globules. Then small fat globules are get converted into fatty acids and glycerol. Right. So while talking about the fats are digested by bile juice as well as pancreatic amylase. Here we are talking about the bile juice. Bile juice generally secreted from the liver. There is no enzymes in the bile juice. Enzymeless juice in our body is enzymes are absent. Enzymes are absent. There is no enzymes in the bile juice, right? And how bile juice are useful to digestion of fats? Here bile juice contain the bile salts. These bile salts involved in the emulsification process. Emulsification is nothing but the process of conversion of large fats into small fat globules are called emulsification. Now, emulsified fats are get converted into fatty acid and glycerol with the help of the pancreatic juice or pancreatic amylase. Pancreatic lipase. So, we have completed about the complete digestion of the human beings. Thank you.